There will come a time when honesty in leadership won't be optional, it will be demanded, and those who lead with principle will finally rise above the noise. Education will not just uplift a nation, it will decide its destiny. Invest in minds today, and you'll build a country that outlives corruption, fear, and division tomorrow. The rights of every citizen, regardless of color or class, will one day be guarded more fiercely than borders, and that will mark the true birth of justice. You may doubt today, but one day, the voice of the individual, armed with knowledge and truth, will echo louder than governments and kings. There will be a generation that refuses to inherit the silence of its fathers. They will speak truth, and history will finally listen. A house divided may stand for a season, but the future belongs to those who choose unity, not because it's easy, but because division costs too much. The power of the ballot will one day outweigh the power of the bullet, and peace will be protected by participation, not by fear. In time, character will matter more than charm, and voters will see that a leader's actions, not their words, shape the future of the republic. A nation that forgets its workers will crumble beneath the weight of its own greed. But those who uplift labor will build empires of resilience. One day, technology will outpace tradition, and only those who lead with integrity, not algorithms, will guide humanity into a future worth inheriting. There will come a century when transparency becomes more powerful than secrecy, and the people will demand light in every corner where shadows once ruled. The seeds of equality, though buried deep by history, will break through one day, and that bloom will redefine liberty for every soul, not just the privileged. The future will not be built by those who complain, but by those who create, even when the odds whisper that nothing will change. A time will come when the strength of a nation is not measured by its armies, but by its willingness to protect the dignity of its weakest. Machines will rise, but so will the human spirit, and those who anchor themselves in values will lead where wires and screens cannot. Justice, though delayed in our time, will one day move at the speed of conscience, not the pace of bureaucracy. The future belongs to those who speak with courage when silence is safe, and act with principle when compromise is cheap. The press, once chained by bias or fear, will one day break free. And in that era, truth will travel faster than deception. In generations to come, silence will no longer protect the oppressor, and voices once ignored will reshape the law, the land, and the legacy. A day is coming when men and women will not be judged by wealth or lineage, but by the integrity of their choices, and the legacy of their service. There will come an age when the cost of indifference will be too high to ignore, and the quiet citizen will rise to become a roaring reformer. The future will not bend to the loudest voice, but to the most consistent courage, echoed in the choices of ordinary people, doing extraordinary things. A time will come when division by race, gender, or creed will seem like ancient ignorance, and unity will no longer be revolutionary, it will be expected. In a world racing towards speed, wisdom will become the rarest currency, and those who slow down to think will lead faster than those who rush. Soon, elections will be won not by promises, but by records, and integrity will become a candidate's most valuable asset. The storms of today will one day be written as turning points for those who chose principle over popularity and hope over habit. Technology will outpace laws, but morality must outlast both, or else progress will become peril. There is a future where the strength of a republic is measured by how it treats its prisoners, not just its presidents. True progress will not be seen in monuments or machines, but in how a nation honors the truth when it's inconvenient to do so. A government by the people will one day be tested by apathy, and those who still show up will preserve its promise. The future will reward not those who climb over others to lead, but those who lift others while rising, creating leaders instead of followers. A time is coming when silence will no longer shield the powerful, and accountability will rise from the courtroom into every corner of public life. The next revolution will not be of weapons, but of wisdom, powered by minds unafraid to question and hearts bold enough to answer. Power, in the wrong hands, corrupts quietly, but the future will demand power held with humility, not hubris, and led by character, not charisma. True liberty will only arrive when education is not a privilege, but a promise fulfilled in every town, for every child, regardless of status,